Everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to do Batman Detective Comics issue 1007 with cover by Kyle Hotz. This is a two-parter. This is the last part of the story. It seems there was Batman Day yesterday or the day before. I totally forgot. So I'm a little bit late to my Batman comic. Well, doesn't matter. I'm doing Batman anyway. So let's dive in. Jim Corrigan, who is the host of the Spectre, was not really being tortured, but he's being captured, and they are looking for each other. The Spectre and Jim Corrigan. So he lies here, and it looks really cool. If you looking like this, look at the like this, with the candles and the lighting, it's just all real good. So these. Yeah, cult. They want to separate the Spectre from the body of Jim Corrigan so they can control them. That's why they look like him. So and they also chanting the cult of the divine hands compels you. So you will be dead, cold and dead, James Corrigan. The Spectre will be torn away and controlled by us, right? So they are touching him, and there's blood over his body. And your mumbo jumbo means nothing. No matter what you freaks do, you never separate me from the Spectre. I like, Jim Corrigan is an old school cop. He's not faced by a lot of things anymore. So then we go to Wayne Manor, and then we see a technology that I haven't seen Bruce Wayne used before in his investigations, right? Because he's a detective. So he's using some kind of a hologram to reenact some parts of the crime scene. And then he's doing that, how do you say, Tony Stark Iron Man thing, waving his hands in the air, and then something's happening, which I'm not really a big fan of. I'm just, more like mechanical, old school like that, push a button, turn some dials, and then stuff is happening, more like a visual thing instead of waving your hands in the air and pictures are appearing. I know that's the thing that we are going with all the hologram technology, but it's still, I don't know. You can see it here, right? It's just, I'm not a big fan of that. Don't get me wrong. This has nothing to do with the story. It's just my more personal preference. That's why I love older science fiction and action movies more, because they actually use, well, let's say science fiction like Alien. We have a lot of computers, keyboards, etc. No holograms, not that kind of science that you're gonna wave your hands in the air, like in Star Trek. I don't think Star Trek is, very appealing to me. And Star Trek story is real shit nowadays, I heard. Anyway, I love old school Star Trek, by the way, with the original team and Deep Space Nine, and I like that. But let's not talk about Star Trek. It's nothing to do with the story. Anyway, so I also love this perspective with this T-Rex here, that's looking at him. Although it's just, is it an animated? Or is it just a statue? I don't know. And all these bats here, and then. I also like that Bruce senses that Spectre is here, right? He's truly a detective. And this looks so freaking awesome. Look at this, man. And also especially love the smoke. I said that in the previous issue. Check it out and subscribe to my channel if you like what you're seeing. Kyle Hotz does smoke really, really cool, really good. And although this is a modern comic, you can see that the veterans of the industry really know how to sell a freaking good comic, when it comes to art and even with writing. Writing is also fun, unlike other things in modern comics. Yeah, let's not touch that too much. So Spectre says, reaching for your cowl is a futile gesture. Masks are useless. They conceal nothing from me, Bruce Wayne. Maybe you wear your cowl to hide something from yourself. So Bruce says, hey, why don't you show your face So Inspector just, yeah, okay, I'm going to do that. Does seeing a human face allow you to relate to me better? So Batman asks, hey, what is your relation to Corrigan? And he just says, well, Corrigan and I are one and the same. All right, I didn't expect that you just throw that out so casually. And Bruce says, well, I'm listening, right? So, and then we see more like a history relapse. Well, not really a relapse, but more like a origin. For those who don't know. And then this is really fun, well done. So I prefer to relate our story through your eyes. So I love the effect that he goes into his eyes. And then we see not how Corrigan is portrayed here, but Bruce Wayne as Corrigan, because it's through his eyes. So we go back that he was, a cop, and that he, like his fathers before him, he was a, old school cop. He lived and breathed, the law to serve and protect. Law enforcement consumed me. Earning my detective shield was the proudest day of my life. It led many a good cop into gathered to save the soul of New York. Lost good and honorable friends along the way. Used the power of my shield right to the edge, pushing back to the limits of the law to take down the bad guy any way I could. Problem is, the bad guys pushed back, and I found myself at the bottom of the lake in upstate New York, screaming silently in the darkness for a second chance, for the justice I handed out as a cop to have made some kind of a difference. And suddenly there was an intense light, and a voice was saying that I wasn't worthy of heaven, but not deserving of hell. That's so cool. So my death wish was granted. I walked the earth as the focal point of the murdered and seek retribution to confront evil, confront and comprehend. I embrace this new mission with my all my being. Whoever committed murder would face judgment of the Spectre. Wow, that is good writing. That is really good writing. I mean, I know little bits, pieces in here and there, and I try to collect those Spectre comics from Volume 2, also from the 90s. They are a little bit hard to come by, but, I try to get them because I'm interested in this character, right? So I hope to get a couple of them. So, and then, the smoke returns. Again, this visual looks really cool. So he says then, now you understand the toll it takes to walk with a ghost and how Corrigan and I are connected. So he also says he's going to do whatever it takes to be, with Corrigan again, connecting with him. If you know my heart, you know I don't kill. I help you find Corrigan if you swear not to let your bloodlust rule. But then Spectre says, well, that's who I am. It's part of my being. And then we have some kind of unsettling moment between them. And then Spectre says, okay, I will not do it. Maybe there will be a little bit of blood on my hands, but I will not kill. So, Bruce agrees then with that to help him. He says, good to hear because you contaminate and destroy this crime scene with your brutality. So, but, he has found some evidence about the crime scene, and it leads to a guy called Rick Zuler. So he's doing some cross references, and also he's, grilling Spectre a little bit because he's, he contaminated with, his brutality earlier. And he says, I found a small piece of fabric in the blood alley. Apply a little science, time, and legwork, and a murder can be brought to justice without spraying their organs and brains matter all across the wall. Yeah, like I said, Batman is not afraid of the Spectre, although he's probably one of the most, or maybe the most powerful being in this DC universe. I'm not sure. So, and then we go to prison here, and all these people that Batman to justice. Batman brought them to justice. I'm sorry. So then he appears there because, you see the smoke, so he's been teleported in. And they are scared of him. And evening walker. I thought you said on the roof it was my lucky day. It is. You're still breathing. I love it that he still instills fear in these criminals, right? So he says, hey, where's Ray Ambrose? And he says, detective life is at stake. And Budgie says, I don't know. And then the Spectre comes from the toilet. And I love it that this hand is so rising, so creepy and cool. And so he takes he takes Walker and he's, almost drowning him in the toilet. And Batman says, Spectre, enough. Tell Batman where you last saw Ray Ambrose. He's scared to death. Oh, I'll talk. Tell him where I saw him last. Just stop this green bastard from drowning me. There's always a first time for everything. And what is that? Never thought I perceived to be the good cop. No, because normally Batman would be the bad cop, right? So I like this combo a lot. And then, so they're going to search the apartment of Ambrose. Is it Ambrose? Ambrose, yeah. And then Batman finds some kind of evidence, some kind of a piece of wood. He scans that, and it goes to a place here somewhere. And this really cool-looking evil church, right? And it's called the Grace Church, and Spectre senses that Corrigan is here. So, and he also says, I smell innocent blood. So he, they break in, all cool with the leaves and all that stuff. And the coloring is so good, man. Props to the coloring. Modern colorists just spray paint all the every color on the world on this page and then call it a day. This is really looking good. So yeah, they're gonna have to fight these cultists, And then he says, about time the cavalry showed up. And so, of course, they are completely helpless against the Spectre and Batman. And they also chant, the divine hand will break your jaw for killing cops in my city. Cut me loose, damn it. And so Batman just got Corrigan loose. Been dying to plaster these freaks, he says. Like I said, Corrigan's not a wuss. He's a hard-ass cop, right? And yeah, so they're going to try to shoot them, but it's all useless. And you killed my partner. The host must die. Long live the host. They keep saying that, but then the fire is still spreading, right? And then also Corrigan and Spectre are happy to see each other. And blind the bed with blood. The fire is spreading, and then so he's blinded. And the look on his face, it says, that's the wrong move to do. So he says, I can pull you out of here, conscious or unconscious, makes no difference to me. So he's getting pissed off. And then they are shooting at the beams, right? And then everything is falling down, and, they're done. And then Spectre smacks Batman out of the building while everything is on fire, basically saving him, but in a most ungraciously way possible for Batman. Right? He's just been smacked away like a fly. You saved me, but someone's alive in there. He's screaming. The night isn't over, and neither is what you swore to me. What is he talking about, Spectre? So Spectre goes in and saves this guy. Satisfied, promise kept. I kept mine. Glad to see you kept yours. So he says then to Corrigan, says, hey, you are not welcome in my city anymore. And Corrigan says that he cannot wait to leave Gotham City and go back to New York. Good, he says. And that's the end of the book. I really love this. This is really well done. Short and sweet, just two-part story. Well done. Although, these cultists are basically a non-threat. But, it's cool to see Spectre again, and Kyle Hotz doing the artwork is chef kiss, right? Also, Batman Superman, I heard some good things about it, but modern comics, I'm not going to buy that. Maybe secondhand one day, but not today. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about this comic. Are you still into modern comics or not? I'm not. Yeah, I buy a couple then here and there, but mostly barely anything. See you next time. Bye-bye.